Today is August 3rd, 2025. Today in Drug Mart on Hills and Dales Road in North Canton, a guy came in. He said I was assigned to her today. He said I'm tired of it. He said these people are running around making fun of her. He said I talked to one of the officers that work her case. Said they run around making fun of her because they got away with trying to kill her. And somebody said something stupid about, well, that one agent was mad because she said something or something like that. I was pissed. Went home, put it on Facebook. What he said to me on a recorded line. And I'm tired of it. I called the FBI hotline. The next day, they had drugged me up so bad I couldn't wake up all the way. Phone's ringing. Let it go to voicemail. Later on, I wake up. I'm so drugged up I can't stand up all the way. What's wrong with me again? Doubled up, holding onto the wall to get to the bathroom, to get to the refrigerator. Okay. Got something to drink. Got back in bed, listened to the voicemail. This is Agent da-da-da, call me back. Fell back to sleep again. Second day, not much better. Third day, made myself get up, sitting on the front porch. What's wrong with me? I feel drunk and I don't drink. What's wrong with me again? Got enough air in my face. Called one of my witnesses. I gave the hotline. See if she'd witness for me. Said yes. Went out, bought a car, put that agent's number in it from the voicemail. Made an excuse to go down the mall. Dropped it off. Her manager put it in her locker. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Paymer, Minister Paul Paymer, got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. He's right there. I walk off, women walk up, he knows she's being drugged, beat, raped, and he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises. I lost 18 pounds, severely infected, personal infection. My heart sinking in my stomach, or I thought it was a dirty Wawa water killing me. I go in and I sit down, they follow me. He knows she's being drugged, being raped. He said he didn't care. If she was going to be faking she was sick and thinking she got well, that family was grieving. Strange lie from 15 years before. It was 6 months later, after a traffic accident I had nothing to do with, and her father killed her kid. And as if he didn't look it up and see that it was Phil's fault, her father. And it had been 15 years. Okay? And if she's going to be faking she was sick while that family was grieving, he didn't care what they did to her. And if she was going to be mean to their women, he was going to turn her back over to them. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go. Get out in the truck, you called the FBI on me. I yelled at him. I said, what'd you expect? He's like, I had to kill you myself. He goes, for a loaded gun in the council. I put my hand on it. He goes to punch me and punched me all the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. Ran from him. Next morning, rivers of tears. Rivers of tears. I called that agent back. I tell him someone told on me. He calls me a liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. Calls me a liar. Starts screaming about a camera above the bench. I don't know. I said, well, he tried to kidnap me before. And before I can say Terry Coberly seen him. He's like, oh, come on now. I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you. And he says strangers lie to cover up Tim and Katie. When he thought I was following him in 03 and it was Linda following her husband, cheating on her. Made up that shitty baby lie. I said I really was sick before. I said he tried to kidnap me before. He's like, oh, come on, even a church person seen him. They'd never verify. That's why I didn't tell him about Terry. He said, I met with that family in my office that lost a kid in that traffic accident. And all those church people, and I know they're trying to kill you. He says, strange as mine. Conspiracy to commit murder is 20 years as a federal crime. Why didn't you arrest him? It's your sworn duty. Why didn't you arrest him? They confessed to a federal police officer they were trying to kill me. Why didn't you arrest them? On the spot. I said I really was sick before. You liar, was there a camera above the bench? I don't know. You say you're lying or I'll arrest you. You start screaming. I said, fine, whatever. Ha, 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 ha. I want you to say you're faking you were sick before. Well, it's ridiculous. I almost died from medical malpractice after a bunch of surgeries and my muscles locked up. I said I really was sick before. He's like, oh, come on. I met with that family in my office that her father killed her kid. And all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you because a stranger's lie. Basically. Because of faking you were sick when I was on medication. I said I really was sick before. He's like, you need to realize what you've done, and I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually says that. Like an investigator said, I listened to the recorded line, almost fell out of my chair. He actually talked to her like that. It's so illegal, it's ridiculous. I said, I really was sick before. He said, you say it or I'll leave you there. I said, but they've tried to kill me, so. They've tried to kill me, so. You say it or I'll leave there. Please don't let him kill me. He starts screaming at me. You say you were faking you're sick or I'll leave you there. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Recorded line attached to the case. Okay. I said, he said, why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me. So they've tried to kill me. So another agent said, well, we could always use Pete's tape a word with yourself. I've never met Pete. It's Dave Sconey hired on his own to run the scam. I said, what are you talking about? It's photoshopped. Like the guy on the motorcycle that's been working the case since 18. He said I did a body ratio of Karen, of how big she was. It wasn't even her. It wasn't the same body. Where they laughed at me, they photoshopped a shower scene in the other room. I'm washing myself. Laughed how they framed me. That's why nobody knew about it. He's talking about my rapist, the man I never met. Only Pete I knew was my brother Medina. I said, what are you talking about? He's laughing at me. He said, stop, you don't know. They said something else about him. I've never met him. He's like, stop. She don't know. He's laughing at me. He said, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor. I said, I've never even heard of him. And he's laughing at me. Why had some lady use my insurance for 15 years? Half my medical records are hers. Even Officer Mark documented her. My brother knew her from my mom. Every union rep. Some other ladies ran up medical bills. She didn't have show ID back then. There was rumors that they was cheating on me right away with a heavy-set white woman. He's denying it. Then all of a sudden I get all these weird medical bills. You didn't show ID. You just went in and told them who you were, wrote it down. And you called in your insurance information later if you forgot the card. You could have procedures, surgeries. They took you for who you were. That's how people used to get away with identity theft. I found out March 27th, 25, outside my work. An agent broke up with Michelle when she confessed to him that they had tried to kill me when they bashed in my head or leave me incompetent. It didn't work. And the reason I don't know who that doctor is, he's not one of mine. He works for them and they lied. He was one of And he had got it out of Dave that a girlfriend from before me made him marry me so he could get a job so she'd have free insurance and he could give her money. My whole marriage was a scam. I had chest pains for days. Literally chest pains. So I thought maybe it was one of her medical bills. Here, no, it's just a scam. I said, I don't even know who you're talking about. He's laughing at me. Stop. She don't know. Okay. All right. He's like, give me a real reason. So I tell him about my brother-in-law, Craig, that died working for the government. He said, first of all, have you talked to any law enforcement about threats on your life? I said, the only 2 officers I've ever talked to, August 8th of 18, I had a light in the security system outside. I called 911 at midnight, and they came out, and they said it looked like an alien orb or an angry spirit, told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. He's like, you're kidding. I said, no. Matter of fact, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've only had family repair guys and installation guys. He's like, is that what's going on? Do you know if Dave's cheating? I said, well, I think he's cheating. I've never caught him. Started laughing with the other guy. Said she's never caught him. Well, Dave verified that December 9th of 18. I never caught him with anyone. Okay. He said, well, I could take you somewhere and leave you, but it comes with no money. I said, I don't have any money to start. He said, well, if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches, I can open an informant program. I said, well, I can do that. It comes with $5,000 a month. I'm opening the account today. Do you know where you can pick it up? I said, I don't know. Well, how broke loose? And according to my friend Grant, his friend that's an FBI agent in another state, it's his responsibility to hand it to me. Not me go pick it up. Okay. He said, you'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated dated against you again for work in this case. Admit to no wrongdoing and I'll take care of everything in the end. Okay. He said, but if you try to tell someone, I'll tell people you're crazy and the FBI won't help you. And, but if you need help, my best friend is the chief of police of Canton. He'll make sure the Canton police always protect you. You can trust him. He's a good man. I told my friend Walter Moss at the Stark County Prosecutor's Office at the time, laughed till I cried. Tears. Chuckling. Tears. He said, first of all, that agent doesn't have enough authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. It's a freedom of speech. It takes the judge to put a gag order on you. And he's only a hired police officer. He can't make up his own rules or guidelines. He can't put it in a court order. No judge could sign it. He'd be signing his own arrest warrant. He can't tell people they can't help you either. That's the 14th Amendment. You cannot withhold protection for any U.S. citizen in any jurisdiction. See what I mean? Freedom of speech, it takes a judge in a jury trial. He was only bullying you, and he can't threaten you and bully you into false statements either. The police know they can't go along with any of that. The only thing legal he did was list you informant with money and immunity. Karen, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. Informants are different. You stay yourself and you feed them information. And until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program, you'll stay an informant for life. He said you'll stay in immunity for life for working this case and you'll get the money the rest of your life. He cannot withhold it. He cannot misdirect it. It's for risking your life to get the government information and they owe you. And the most the FBI can do is put you in another witness protection program. You'll have to be in one the rest of your life. These people actually tried to kill you. They could wait and try to kill you again. And you can never get out of protective custody. I talked to a criminal attorney and police officers. They said the same thing. He was only bullying me. It's against the law. It's called badgering. It's obstruction, justice, and tampering with witnesses and evidence. I was dating an officer for a while, and he calls it badgering. If you're not allowed to even tell anybody you don't believe them, somebody reports something, it's their job to look into it and go on the facts. And if they call you a liar and you can prove they called you a liar, they can go to jail as an accessory to crimes. That's how much he can't talk to me that way. And he can't make up his own rules. April 19th, 25. I'm in Hartville Flea Market, the FBI shows up. Where April 17th, 25, Michelle confessed again in Sheetz parking lot in Hartville, and the big government SUV stopped while she was confessing about all that stuff. Well, they showed up the 19th. How dumb are these people? She called the FBI hotline. They immediately walked into an FBI office, confessed they were illegally monitoring her on their own. And trust me, nobody ever fell for the dirty doctor scam of taping you unaware, confessing a crime, sat on it till Dave wanted a divorce. Okay? And it sounded mechanical, and we knew it was them and not you. And nobody fell for the weird with yourself. We knew it was photoshopped, and everything was photoshopped. And if they're going to be that dumb and try this with us, we told Agent John to go up to that church and tell on her before he talked to her, and to act unlike these people. The word was supposed to act. I had men talk about stuff in Bob Evans last week. You wouldn't believe some drug cartel guy walked into an FBI office and tried to scam an FBI agent. You're kidding. No, it actually happened, so he went along with it. Agent John, you also said that it'll take you about a year to clean this up. It's been 7. It's been 7. You told on me. You admitted they were all in your office. Everybody knew I called the FBI. I've had agents even show up in cases like this. We normally don't let them know who we are when they already know the FBI is involved. But we literally had to chase up people they hired. These people sold the login to the FBI case. It's so public knowledge, it's not even funny. I have been publicly raped and tortured, human trafficked, almost murdered, beat with internal injuries. I have been stabbed on 12/21/18. I was stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head, beat, raped, and left for dead. On December 16th of 18, I had went down to Bob Evans. I met a friend down there for pie. Okay. And we go in and I sit down. And behind me is a large white man, bald, long red beard, black glasses, scrunched down on the seat, and he's big as a lumberjack. He's way over 6'5". His legs are as big as my waist. Same with a crazy blonde lady. Okay? There is 4 men over in the corner. One's a white-haired guy with his hair parted on the side. He said, and the big bald guy with a long red beard. He's like, I'm Karen's handler. Those are my men, easy boys. And the one's over there like this, waving at me. Okay? He said he's a real big Karen fan. He watches Karen and Dave in bed for hours. The crazy blonde lady's like, I'm a psychiatrist. They're all actors. Okay. Alright. On 12/21/18 should be that day around it. I get a shower, I get a house coat on, I go to the refrigerator. I am stabbed in the neck, bashed in the back of the head, beat, raped, and left for dead. Alright, I was out for over 6 hours. I stutter now. When I get upset. I had migraines on half the side of my head for 2 years. And now I'm losing my eyesight because of it. I have fast-growing cataracts on my eyes. Last year they were the size of a human hair, and now they're interfering with my eyesight. I had to get my glasses. They said they're fast-growing. They asked me if I had 2 eye injuries to both eyes at the same time. Well, I googled it. Will a severe head injury to the back of your head cause it? And yes, because you get hit so hard you knock everything forward. They can show up months, weeks, or even years later. And they grow fast. I'll have to have them removed. Or I could lose my sight. I have large pouching in my intestines. The doctor said it's only from being hit in your stomach repeatedly extremely hard, where I had the giant bruises all over my stomach. I have a damaged rib cage from the beating from that house. A damaged shoulder. I was raped and tortured, had to be on bladder spasm medicine for years. I lived through hell, and I was drugged till I lost 70 pounds. I almost died while they got information on the drug cartel, and they saved hundreds. Karen around the house, Karen's will is part of the FBI's nationwide human trafficking scam. I was left in the middle of the cartels, and the cartels played a game of taking turns paying for the harassment, and they got police surveillance on each one of the cartels that helped out. Left me in the middle of them bragging their crimes like they weren't stoppable, who they worked for, what they were doing, and they would like zoom after them. I was almost shot in the head driving, had to hide on a shooting night of Christmas Eve of 2018. Almost shot in the head driving, faced 6 stalkers coming at me. If I wouldn't have had the police and the agents around me to chase them off or grab them, I would have been dead. I have almost died several times. Agent John, I know where they said on the news last year the despicable act of some law enforcement feeding women and children back to drug dealers to get drug dealers should never happen, but is happening. It's effective but evil. I'd like my money. I need a medical card and a letter of thank you for helping out in this. These people run around. They've made fun of FBI agent John June 7th, 23, how they made fun of him. I went down to get my CCW changed into my married name. And there was my new husband went to the bathroom. There was a sheriff behind a divider talking to someone. Said they're using a doctor that's not one of hers. That's not funny. That's a federal crime. HIPAA violations, 10 years. They have stolen somebody else's medical records, put her name on it. Anybody shows up and says something about her, you're to detain them and call the FBI. Those doctors from before were so dumb they were just making up any kind of diagnosis. And they almost killed her with medication errors. See, I'm wondering, in January 19, they said they had fake paperwork to make it look official. It's not true about her. Okay? Told them to get rid of it. I bet that's a fake medical records. And where they made up the retired Judge Pete friends with Ludick, letting him get away with crime. A little old white guy looks like a deranged Santa Claus showed up at Faith Family Church. 3,000 people seen him with the Florida group that were bragging they were hurting me before. Michelle was with them. And he's made up. And they said they worked for Judge Peters and they were from Florida. Judge Peters was arrested by the FBI in 22 and 100 men, where they were walking around Belden, where drug traders and human traffickers from Florida. We work for Judge Peters. We're relocating people to Florida, to a resort area. It was Disney. And where the second group showed up, for we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. If you look him up, he's U.S. military Iraqi translator, went into the dark web, malware, fentanyl king. He's a hacker with military training. That's where the Middle Eastern men and the women in jobs showed up. They're human traffickers also. Okay, and they're all law enforcement after the Texas group. Then we have Buffalo, New York, Michigan, California, North and South Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Georgia, human traffickers. Other ones were drug dealers, breaking who they work for and what crimes they were doing in front of them. And they got legal police surveillance with a court order for a threat and attempted life for an FBI informant. Well, they're laughing at me under police surveillance with a court order. They got them. Thousands went to jail with this. Okay. Right. Like they tell you, oh, she was part of a really big bust. And you ought to be proud of what you lived through, because of what you lived through, you helped save a lot of lives. You got all those information on those people. I'd like my money, Agent John. I need a medical card and I'd like a letter of thank you. You dangle it in front of the wolves and they all yap like a bunch of barking dogs, thinking they should steal from a victim they victimized. It's sick and satanic what they did to me. I had some idiot try to say something in Bob Evans, sitting on the other divider. Oh, hell no. You will not say something stupid to me or around me. So I start with my husband about how that investigator was outside on the motorcycle, how that they did the body ratio, and it wasn't me. The tape of Weird with Yourself, it wasn't in the same body. They put my head on somebody else's body. And where that couple showed up the next day and was running their mouth. Oh, John verified it. Oh, hell no, he didn't. I said it real loud. Was talk real loud to him, talk to the cashier. How John said on Thanksgiving of 18 that when I asked him what's going on, he didn't know. And his ex-wife, Melissa, would just have the kids make up something because of the divorce, going to be moving out, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. She'll have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it. Nobody can say anything bad about you. Just be made up because of the divorce. Says it several times. And then what Melissa did about sneaking in his house after the divorce, hiding, waiting for him to come out of the bathroom, screamed and lunged at him, so he shoved her. And she laughed. Now I got her. I got you. Had him arrested, domestic violence. Went to jail, had a bailout, get an attorney, pay fines, lost his kids for a year. Okay? And he called me in, 2020, 21, asked me to watch Kenzie Carrington and Noah after school. I said, John, I work 2 jobs. I barely make it now. He said, Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. I said, John, I barely make it now. I can't help you. I'm so sorry. He said, Mom, if you don't help me, I'll lose my kids forever. I said, John, I'll lose my apartment. I don't make it hardly now. I'm sorry. I don't get off the first job, let alone the second. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida, comes up and sees them a couple times a year. Married a beautiful woman, looks very happy. Melissa is an electrical design engineer. They make $95,000 to $145,000. She's been one for over 10 years. She probably makes $145,000. John was complaining how many thousands of dollars he has to give her in child support because he's an electrician too. She gets over 30 grand. So she makes 145 to 175,000. He would tell you anybody helps her after what she did to him would be a slap in his face. And hell would freeze over. She wanted to be sole parent that bad to pull such a mean move? Tell her to figure it out herself. She couldn't make it on that kind of money. That's like 3 people's income. See what I mean? He said he needed a reliable name to put on the court records to pick up the kids. And was he part of this mean, horrible stunt? Dave trying to get away with trying to kill me? No. Just like Danny and Jen didn't report the weird with herself. When they were confronted about it, they didn't know. And they refused to be a part of it. Get the idea? They just lie. They have people impersonate people. I found out a month ago they had some guy riding around with him telling everybody it was John. They all found out John's lived in Florida for about 4 years. Nobody thought it was funny. They had somebody impersonate my mom, bad-mouthing me. Somebody impersonate Danny and Jen. They had somebody impersonate me and cost me a job. These people, I was raped and tortured by a fake FBI agent, July to September 19, midnight to 3, with 2 other guys. They saw videos of it. And he told everybody he was an FBI agent. Faith Family Church, the usher, screamed at him for doing it. They sold videos of it. And videos of me being human trafficked, even to children. I've lived through enough horror for 10 people. I want you to think about that. These people are so awful. I was working in 19 and 20 at CSE Bank, a market, and they would come in. We all know our bladders damaged because of being raped and tortured. Let's stand in line and see if we can make her pee herself if she has to wait to go to the bathroom. They would publicly mock me. They're that sick and evil. I had to be on bladder spasm medicine for years. I want you to think how not funny this is. I told you after I was raped and tortured, it took me several weeks to go back to church. I went to Macy's. And I seen that idiot. I got away from him. Went to Faith Family Church. I got in church and he comes in screaming. He calls me a whore for him and 2 other guys raping me. And an usher yelled at him, wouldn't have it, because they sold videos of it to the church. What you did was consider rape, leave her alone. And there's over 1,000 people in there. Over 10 aisles were staring at me and him, and I sat down crying like crazy. And I eventually run out. I'll tell you what, in October and November 21, I went to report this to the Belden FBI office. I pulled in and I looked at that FBI office and I couldn't move my legs. I literally couldn't move. I looked at that office and I kept thinking, if he's in there, I won't make it out alive. What if he's in there? I won't make it out alive. And I literally couldn't move my legs. I laid my head on the steering wheel and I know my car is bugged. And I did a testimony of everything. Tears were running down my face. I finally decided to go mail it. I went over to the Belden post office. I went in. There was a lady in there. She looked over at me. We all know you couldn't walk in that office after what happened to you. And right in front of me, this lady had showed up. Everybody kept saying some guy named Bill from the Freemasons was paying for the harassment. January to April 19, Sunday morning, before 10, I was early to John's church. And I went into Minerva McDonald's. The Freemasons followed me down. And I seen ones pull in and they'd show up and harass me. And I would just sort of brace myself for them to come in and yell something horrible at me. And these two guys walk in and say, Bill, you paid hundreds of $1,000s to pay people to follow around. I look up and I see them. I got out. I've never talked to him. Okay. Well, in like May to July 19, I went to Perry Township to use the laundromat. This older lady came in and sat down. She said, my son Will's getting married. And I thought, well, this is weird. She must be lonely. And she started showing me pictures. He found a young blonde girl. I said, well, they all do. Shows me pictures of this girl and their wedding shower in their home. What's not funny is she showed up telling everybody she was Bill's wife. Her and her friends were asking me. On that day that I couldn't walk in that office and that Belden post office, she's ahead of me on the phone. Honey, these people need to go to jail for this. I thought, yes, you do. And I turned around and walked out of my car and lit up a cigarette. Sat there and shook until they all left. Went at me all left. By February to March of 22, I am so desperate for help again. I set myself up all the way over there. All the way over there. I got there, just grabbed my purse and walked in as fast as I could. Don't even let myself chicken out. Went in there and gave a statement. I went to work that night and I went and cars would drive by and I know my phone's bugged and I know they sold a login and I was going through everything and I went to grab the trash to walk out and the lady's like, when she left the office, they told me to keep an eye on her. And while I was in that office, two guys that remind me of my son Joshy, I thought they were police officers. They walked by me talking about the case. I thought you were cops. They've been around me since 18. They're federal agents. Well, I even found out through the Stark County Sheriff's that the one I call Officer John, he's an FBI agent too, and his name's not John. Well, I walk in Walmart and they say John's here to take care of Karen. Well, I look over, he said something nice, and I thought his name was John. Well, when I worked at CSE Bank, the camp police officers talked about the officers that watched me, so I thought he was an officer. Where is it, federal agent? Where they thought they pulled the FBI and they left. They didn't go anywhere. And they got all this under police surveillance that Agent tracked them. Agent John, Dave in the church was, my God, man, I have got you terrorist. I got you Trackasami. I got you George Peters out of Florida, 100 men. The U.S. Marshals used the case, got 800 in one swoop, and then several other 100 different times. Even the neighbors where I live, they said not to say a word to her. She's been helping the FBI with a really big case. I'm making one. I'd like my money, a medical card, and a letter. Thank you. Officer John or Officer Markey can bring it. Or one of my guys that I know. And stay out of Louisville. They're looking for you. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and upload this. But I like my money. I need a medical card. Yeah, leave me a, well, see, that's where some lady even laughed last week. She has a life for pieces in a form. That is what's going on. She can't get out. Even a criminal attorney told me that. So you know why they put you in a witness protection program? It's so the people you tell on can't run a scam on you and get you for telling on them. Nothing legally stated dated against you ever again. You know, if you pull back the craziness of the case, I have one traffic ticket from 1989. I am so squeaky clean. Dave used to call me Mary Poppins. You're such a Mary Poppins, Karen. Practically perfect in every way. I like being a Mary Poppins. It makes me a good person. I chose to be a good person years ago when I was small. It makes me a good person. Where he'd mock me for being one. I like my money. That letter of thank you would be nice so I can show my kids. And medical card. Leave me informed forever like you promised. And don't go far, because you're supposed to come back and kill me. Okay? That was one of the threats. For when they find you alone, that's when they'll take care of you. They have a veil picked out south of Ravenna to cut up your face and stab you to death. That's where you'll die. We have a plan. I don't want the last threat to come, or they keep putting out threats where you can't beat a single woman by yourself and you get tortured. Or there's another murder plot. They're going to make sure she can never carry a gun again. And then they come up with this craziness. Just like remember the truth or try to implant lies or try to steal everything you have in life. The extortion plan. The fake paperwork to make it look official. I bet that doctor's not even a doctor. People have even said that. If they stole somebody else's medical records and put our name on it, I bet that doctor's not even real. Or retired Judge Pete, friends with Ludick, wasn't real. The fake FBI agents, fake Portage County Sheriff's home harming me. They were drug cartel. It's a drug cartel scam. Some attorney's office, the way the police are talking, did this, messed up in the drug cartel. Harming people. I went on Google and Googled what drugs cause sleepwalking and a really bad metallic, bitter taste in your mouth that you can't get out, and it's hallucinogenic drugs. Where they found a cocktail of drugs in my system to make me sleepwalk. The fake sodium pentothal reports where they drug me up and told me to say stuff. Yeah. None of this is funny. Would these people really like to be me? I'd like, where they called you people for doing this, idiot people. Look at the idiot people helping out in this. You are idiots. Would you want people to break in your home, stalk you, sell you on porn sites, sell your children and grandchildren on porn sites? Would you like them to Photoshop a shower scene in the other room? You don't even know they've done it. Would you like to come in from working outside, wash your hands, make something to eat and drink, go and use the bathroom, wash your hands, come out, take a drink in the room, went dizzy and black? Wake up with injection marks, orange, lemon, grapefruit sized bruises, throwing up, severely infected, and the only thing new to you is the house. And the well water looks like orange. And we had a test that had high levels of iron in it. And you're thinking it's killing you or giving you cancer because maybe it's toxic. And causing that severe personal infection. And then you find out rapists have been playing with you. They've been drugging you up, telling you to say stop having you beaten, raped, and having strangers violate you. And these idiot people make fun of me. Like it's funny. Oh, they should get your money. For what? For being rapists and human traffickers? And a racketeering group, an extortion group? They already called it a large extortion group in 22 in Cuyahoga Falls. And then they say, oh, an attorney's office. Oh, that's one of the things that shithead said. And we had an attorney's office do it so it's legal. Right on Google, dumbass. If you weren't a mental retard, it's called Google. If an attorney sets up button cameras in your home, it's cyber stalking. It's a felony invasion of privacy. They are to be disbarred and criminally charged. So where you said it made it legal, it makes it where the Louisville police with that lady, they looked up the original case. My ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he was an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it don't. It makes it worse illegal. I know because they have a law degree and they knew better. Huh? They knew better. It's right on Google. I even Googled it, did a screenshot, and put it up on Facebook so they'd have it. So if they can't say they don't know how to use Google, I got it for them. Oh, and if a doctor tapes you unaware, they go to jail 10 years for HIPAA and Privacy Act. They can never talk about you. Can an attorney hire its doctor friends to steal your medical records? No, it's illegal. It's stealing medical documents. It's a 10-year sentence and like a $250,000 fine. If a doctor talks about you without your consent, it's 10 years and $1.5 million fine. That's how much they can't do this shit. It's all a big scam. Just like they lied they had special permission from the chief of police, there's no such thing as special permission. The Fourth Amendment requires a court order, and police and agencies only in a protected life case with statements for the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. Your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. No searches, no seizures can, but upon probable cause warranted, that's a court order, with an oath or affirmation of people, places, or things to be searched or seized. Because you have a right also to remain quiet, and a right to an attorney, and a right to privacy. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, with statements, with a court order, without a conflict of interest. First Amendment, you have a freedom of speech, and only a judge can take it away in a jury trial. The Seventh Amendment, only an impartial jury trial can award money per injury documented. And a set amount, not a judge, and never a judge. Only an unbiased jury trial on a set amount by a documented injury. See where they lie that a judge signed everything over? Can't do it. It's a lie. 14th Amendment, you cannot withhold protection from any U.S. citizen in any jurisdiction. You cannot seize any money but due process of the law. You have to be found guilty and sued for it. See what I mean? Learn your rights so scam artists can't scam you. Get the idea? That idiot today in Bob Evans? Well, blah, 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 blah. We had an attorney do it, so it's legal. So hell no. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And I said about that investigator yelling at those people, and Bob Evans said he interviewed John years ago. He said nothing bad ever happened to him. So did all my kids. He's like, oh, he must have been said that because he was afraid. Oh, hell no. And how he defended me? That no one could say anything bad, and what Melissa pulled? By setting him up to be arrested? I said, when is the FBI going to arrest these people? And he's like, well, we had a doctor tape her unaware before, having her say blah, 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 blah. Oh, blew up at that one too. Okay? Where even they told the Tuscarora sheriffs, they have some doctor that's not one of hers works for them. That's a federal crime. A 10-year sentence, lost a medical license forever. They said it was just some guy named Petey hired on his own. I'll tell you what, Dr. Gray Haven is still in practice on Frank Road in Canton. North Canton. In 2001, 2002, I was talking to him. We've been the kids' pediatrician since 1984. Okay. He said, Karen, I never one time had to worry about you abusing your children. I never had to worry about them being mistreated or not well being taken care of. Your children are fine, but you come in here with bruises. Only one I worry about in that house is you. You cannot hide abuse. You can see the trauma in somebody's face, actions. They have weird injuries, bruises, broken bones. My kids were normal height, normal weight, will look you in the eye, smile, and talk your head off. They still will. They're chatterboxes. That's medical proof of no one was ever abused. They already talked to Dr. Haben, and Dr. Haben told them there was never ever sign of any abuse on those children. They were very well taken care of. And the last time he seen me, I was in a lot of pain. So where that guy said, we had a doctor tape her unaware, we had a doctor have her say that. That's a federal crime, and the doctor goes to jail on YouTube. Because I never met him, and he's not my doctor. You want to talk about my rapist? I bet he's not even a doctor, because a doctor would know better. So we'd have medical proof. That's not medical proof. Medical proof is examinations. I had a personal injury doctor. You have to have emergency reports. You have to have documented medical proof that somebody was harmed, and then police reports attached to it. Otherwise, you don't have nothing. See, I have medical proof that I was being harmed. Didn't know who was doing it. And then I have a police report of calling the FBI, and then a federal investigation that backs all this. So you can kiss my ass. And they have you all under surveillance. See, that guy shut up when I said that about the kid's pediatrician. And they already know that doctor's not one of mine. He works for them, and they lied, and I never met him, and I don't know who he is. Michelle's already told several FBI agents. And the FBI, right after Thanksgiving 18, had a huddle with the police. Why are they having those kids make that shit up? Melissa's kids? Because they're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. 2 FBI agents, March 23rd, 23, yelled at these people. We told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. It's just some lady thought she could make money off of it. And what did Melissa's kids get taped stating? January 12, 22. The one I call Officer John that's an FBI agent? Yelled at men? They got tape stating they made everything up. Like Officer Mark said, Melissa could go to jail for involving herself in this. Why don't we just write it up? Her and the kids made all that stuff up to show off for Dave's girlfriend. And for Melissa, so stupid, she made everything up. When you were fishing with Dave, she's actually that stupid. She didn't check where you were. Or what did they get taped in the basement saying? They wanted the house for Auntie Shell and Papa. Then later on to Flora, they made everything up. Like the Stark County Sheriff said, if Kurt just found out those kids were lying, he is low. The FBI and police have called Melissa and her kids out in different towns, different Walmarts, different stores, that they taped them all saying they were lying. Nobody went to the hospital. Where's the hospital report? There isn't one. Where's the pictures of injuries? There's not. Where's the police report? There's not. They were already taping for an FBI case. They caught Melissa telling the kids to lie, friends with Michelle, and them stating in a legally bugged house in an FBI case that they made everything up and they were games of pretend. Where Flora told on them October 23rd, 2019. Of course it never happened. Of course it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games of pretend. They're documenting me games of pretend. Like the law states, if you have your kids pretend something happened to them and it didn't, to extort money or scare somebody out of something, it's extortion. It is a 20-year federal prison sentence under child abuse. She is mentally abusing those children, and the police better take them away from her. Where Officer Mark was generous and said, why don't we just write it up that her and the kids were showing off her Dave's girlfriend so we don't have to arrest her, because she could go to jail for involving herself in this. Her kids are little, and I'd hate to put her in jail. Put her in jail. It's been 7 years she's been abusing those children. Put her in jail. Where Dixie said that, Melissa said the group of people, they hired a watcher before. She's part of the people having me drugged, being raped, lying on the chief of police up there. That Melissa said the chief of police gives special permission for people to break in people's homes. That's illegal. Break in and do things to them, which the way they described it made total sense to her because she's a dingbat. But Melissa confessed to her. She was part of hiring those people to harm me. She was probably having an affair with my ex-husband too. Arrest her. She's dangerous. Having people victimize, trying to steal from and think she's some kind of mafia bitch. She's not. She's just a cult person that thinks she can hire cartels to bend at her whim. I'm going to upload this.